Hey everyone, this is my solar eclipse reading. Solar eclipse, what is it? New moon reading. Spirit just came out with this spread. And, I definitely see the resemblance with the eclipse. Of course, we even have a new moon eclipse card, which new moon eclipse is solar eclipse. So we even have that card. And I happen to notice from sitting at this angle that I also feel like it's a vortex. And maybe that's part of the reason why Spirit designed the spread this way, because the way all of these cards are angled, it feels like it creates this vortex. And I think that for a lot of people, this solar eclipse feels like we're going through a vortex of acceleration, a vortex that is sucking out everything that needs to be removed. And sometimes that happens in dramatic ways or tumultuous ways as well. So this is a vortex that is doing whatever it needs to do in each individual person's life or each twin pair's life to get you to this state of inner peace. Now, you're not going to find that peace immediately, okay? It's going to take a moment to get on the other side of the vortex before you get the peace. But do your best to be like this girl. And if you're still going through this vortex, if you're still feeling the effects, find that inner peace to ride it out, to maintain your stability and your calm inside to just get through this rocky period. I mean, we still have another eclipse coming. This is the second eclipse gateway of the year. There's always two every year. So you got to find that peace to get through it, okay? So I was guided to pull from all my moon decks. So I have my Black Moon astrology deck. I have my Moonology deck. And honestly, I can't remember the name of this other deck to save my life. I truly can't. Oracle of the Moon, perhaps? I don't know why. I just cannot remember it. So anyway, it's all my moon decks. Okay, and I asked Spirit, what are the major and important lessons and messages for the solar eclipse? I know I'm a few days behind also. I was buying a car during the solar eclipse. Anybody know if that's good luck? Do you guys remember when I got into my car accident in August? Well, finally got my new car. Just so happened to be buying it during the solar eclipse as well. And I'm getting notifications that distracted me and made me forget what I was going to say. Yep, it's gone. But it wasn't important anyway. I was just saying I have been juggling a lot and I finally got my car. And I was going to say I managed to avoid Mercury retrograde. So I was happy about that, that I was not buying a car during Mercury retrograde. And now I'm curious if it's good luck buying during a solar eclipse. But anyway, so I've been busy. Spirit also last week put me through my own major vortex that I'm going to be talking about soon. Spirit wants me to talk about it, to share the lessons learned with you guys so that maybe some of you can take it in and not have to go through the same thing. It was probably the worst purge or crisis of faith that I have had on this journey. I say I pause because I've had worse pertaining to my twin. This wasn't actually pertaining to my twin, but it did push me to a point where I was majorly cursing out Spirit, and I felt like I understood why people turn to the dark, because sometimes I just wonder why the source creator even wanted to split itself into a God knows how many souls to experience life on a 3D planet and go through suffering. Why do you want to understand that? Why do you want to put us through suffering? Yeah, that's my question. But anyway, I will tell you guys about it soon because Spirit wants me to tell you about it. And I mention that as well because there's actually kind of hints to that here too. So I'm sure I'm not the only person who has gone through something like that recently around the eclipses. If you haven't yet, it may be coming. Who knows? I hope not for you. But I did get through it. I did come out the other side. So here we are. Okay. So what does Spirit want to talk about here? As always, there is the reassurance that Spirit always likes to give through my readings, but there is a lot more focus on what you need to be working on and what you need to be aware of and just what you're working through. So I'm kind of going to wing it and go through multiple, like I'm not going to go deck by deck is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. I do want to start with the Virgo, Aquarius, Leo. And I'm going to pull the cards out as I go because then I will know that I touched on each one. Okay, so I want you to be able to see them. Or let me just turn them that straight. Okay, Virgo, some of you can't stop over analyzing, can't stop over worrying. Spirit is trying to get you to go within and trust your intuition and not let the overthinking and the obsessive thoughts get to you, okay? Focus instead on sorting out your life, doing the things that you know that you need to do for yourself, decluttering your life. Shift your focus away from over stressing about your twin and focus on yourself and what you need to do for yourself. Aquarius, I know, once again, go within, trust your inner knowing, okay? This is your path and everything will be okay, and trust that you know that. Trust your own inner knowing that you know that everything will be okay, that when you think of your twin and your future, you know that everything will work out and you'll come into union and there's nothing for you to worry about. So you're not going to let the fears and the worries and the doubts get to you. You do need to expect to be tested, but at the same time, because your gifts are opening up, you're going to be shown waves of the future. You're going to be shown what's to come. And that's what you have to hold on to when you're going through the most difficult parts of this journey, okay? When you're going through the voids, because many of you are in it right now. There's almost always a void before a breakthrough because Spirit doesn't want you to know what's coming. But Spirit is always testing you. Trust me when I tell you that Spirit is always testing you, even when you are so close to union, to the end of the journey. When you're on the brink, that's when Spirit's going to test you the most to make sure, are you done over analyzing? Are you done doubting? Are you done making the mistakes that you have made in the past? Have you learned everything you're supposed to learn? Are you fully ready? Expect to be tested, and the voids are always going to happen to test you, to see if you're going to slip into old patterns, or are you going to rise above and stay in your higher vibration and stay in your trust and stay in that surrendered state. So that's what you need to focus on, okay? Leo, it goes right there. It's a strength card. Stand in your strength and your knowing. Also focus on being present in the moment and bringing joy and happiness into your life. And the more that you can focus on that and be high vibrational, living, loving life, the success, the happy outcome will find you. You don't have to go looking for it. It will find you. It will come to you. Okay? Let's move these out of the way real quick. So, let's touch on the karmic situations real quick, okay? We have this Black Moon Lilith card here. To some extent, this is telling you to not get caught up in negative energy or anger yourself. Don't allow yourself to go down a negative path of thinking. Don't focus on negative thoughts pertaining to your twin, being mad and upset at your twin over their actions or inactions or other people in your life, because that is going to lead you down a dark path that you don't want to get caught up in, okay? Hold that thought. Now, when it comes to karmic situations, as opposed to, worrying about your own energy, This Black Moon Lilith card does represent those toxic karmic partners who are creating problems. And I'm going to be honest, some of you need to pay attention to that. You need to worry about it. 50% of twin flames go through spiritual warfare. And if you've watched my video, I just posted the series on all of my social media about the 5 types of twin flames. Of the 5 types of twin flames, the twin rays and the twin flames have the most spiritual warfare. The twin flame masters and the monadic twin souls have the least amount of spiritual warfare. The twin flames themselves have it the hardest. They're the ones that have to defeat the most. And I am one of those people who had to defeat a lot of spiritual warfare, and who spirit guides a lot of people to me to help them with their spiritual warfare. I have seen a lot. I would like to say I've seen it all, but for some reason I feel like I haven't. I have seen the craziest shit that you could ever come up with and more. I mean, I don't want to give anybody any ideas, but I have seen, I'm speechless. I'm legitimately speechless right now. I mean, I have one client right now who is under the most severe attacks that I have ever seen anyone under. Like, over 100 evil spirits or souls and demons attacking her, and every single day she is fighting off demons who are physically attacking her and her twin. But that's not even the crazy shit that karmic partners do. I have seen karmic partners trying to steal the spiritual DNA of the divine feminine to become the twin flame. I have seen them trying to shapeshift into the divine feminine. I have seen them doing sacrifices that they should not be doing. I have seen them trying to, become demonic themselves so that they will have more power and control to be able to control the divine masculine and keep him with them. And, also do other bad things in the world. I've seen more that I can't even think of it all right now. But I say all of this because it needs to be known. People need to understand that this stuff is really happening. I mean, you can go onto Etsy and buy a freaking contract with a demon for $100 or less, probably. It's absolutely absurd. And let me just tell you, it doesn't matter if you don't think you're causing any harm and you're just, trying to bring in success or abundance. A contract with a demon is never going to work out in your favor, because that demon's going to end up corrupting you. And it's always going to lead down a dark path. I do not recommend it. But anyway, I say this because people need to know that it's happening, that it's real, that it's dangerous, that it is life or death situations sometimes, and that it does need to be taken seriously. And many, many twin flames have to deal with this. There are reasons why I'm going to be recording a video series about spiritual warfare as well, explaining why it happens, what its purpose is, why it is part of our soul contracts as well. But that's not for right now. The point is, you need to be aware of it. It is happening. There's no way around it. And you need to know. You need to look into these things. You need to get the proper protection when the proper protection is needed, so that you can handle everything, so that you are winning. Because spiritual warfare is the only thing that can block your twin flame journey indefinitely, and cause death. My case was a case where lives were on the line. So I know it firsthand. So pay attention to the red flags, get the help that you need when you need it, and know that this is not something you can just pray away, okay? Now, I will say this. I have come to realize that everybody is different in their gifts and abilities. There are some people who are able to handle these things themselves, that it is part of their gifts and abilities, and there's some people who aren't. So you're going to get some people who tell you you don't need to do anything. You're going to get other people who tell you you do need to do something. It really just depends on each individual person and each individual case, okay? So, but as far, you can't, with demons, you cannot pray them away. That requires a little more from someone who knows what they're doing. And the same with karmics who are doing serious dark arts and black magic that is next level, that requires more than a simple meditation you can find on YouTube. Okay. But anyway, so be aware of that and know that these karmics are lurking, and understand that they are being controlled by the dark as well. This is why they're doing this. They are being controlled and affected by the dark and negative spirits to do these things. So that's the dark trying to prevent twins from coming into union. Okay, so keep that in mind. Know this though, for all karmic situations, whether we're dealing with spiritual warfare or not, they are part of our soul contracts for a reason. They serve a purpose. That is destruction before creation, because we are going through a massive spiritual rebirth process, and our lives have to be, the tower has to come down to be rebuilt. Into, I don't know, what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be a castle? Do you want it to be a mansion? What do you want it to be? An amazing cottage in the forest? Like, what do you want it to be? But the tower's got to come down before that new life and that future can be created. Okay, so that is the purpose of these karmic situations, and putting us through the necessary lessons. Okay, let's see here. Oops, I forgot to say that Spirit is here to tell you that nothing will come of these situations. I meant to do that while this was still here. So yes, these karmic situations are going on, and they will need to be dealt with at times, but there's nothing that's blah, 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 blah. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing will come from these situations in the long run. You're going to go through what you need to, learn what you need to, and then you're going to come out the other side, and everything's going to be okay. Okay? Okay, as far as the karmic situations go, and as far as the voids go, while you're in these voids and you're waiting on the divine masculines dealing with these situations, this is what you need to focus on right now, feminines, okay? First of all, don't let pride get in your way. Don't turn on your masculines because you're mad at them for their situations, for their mistakes, for taking too long, for whatever it may be. This is a time where divine feminines, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's a time for you to give rather than take. You need to hold space for the masculines and allow them to go through what they need to go through. You need to understand that this is not something that only you are going through. The masculines have their own journey to go through as well. Theirs looks different because they're the runner, you're the chaser. So theirs looks different, and Spirit is putting them through what they need to go through in a different way than what you are, but they still have to get through it. You don't fool yourself into thinking that they're like living it up, having a great life, that they're happy in these karmic situations. They're not happy in these karmic situations. Just because they are with a karmic doesn't mean that they're happy. Okay, that is one of the biggest things that I see. Like, understand that so many, if not all, of the divine masculines, unless it's a karmic soulmate, but I see the divine feminines have karmic soulmates. I don't much see the divine masculines have karmic soulmates. Like, pretty much all or majority of divine masculine third-party situations, karmic situations, they are not happy. They are settling because they don't feel good enough for you, because they don't feel good enough to go after what their heart truly desires and the lives that their heart truly desires. They are settling because they're sitting in their abandonment wounds and their self-worth wounds, and they don't have the courage to move beyond that, to move past that. And Spirit is putting them through the process to heal all of that. And they have to go through it. They have to go through what is necessary for them to heal those wounds, and they aren't going to be ready for you until that happens. And you can't be mad at them for it. You have to unconditionally love them and hold space for them until they work their way through the process. This journey is about, this journey is about unconditional love, but understand the power that you have by showing the masculine that unconditional love. The divine feminine has so much power and ability to heal the masculine simply through loving and accepting them, and through that unconditional love, because it heals and transmutes those lower vibrational emotions and energy and wounds, and helps them see the good in themselves and that they truly do deserve you. So like I was saying, step into your power as a divine feminine who has the ability to heal through love. Do not get caught up in anger and resentment and all of that. Don't let pride get in your way. Take this time to focus on your own self-love, your own self-care, nourishing not just your body, like not to take good care of your body, but nourish your soul as well. Nourish your emotional life and your mental health, and nourish your divine masculines as well, because when you can show your divine masculine that deep, unending, unconditional love, divine love, you can heal your masculine miraculously as well, because they can't even help it. Like, yeah, they might still struggle through their wounds slowly over time, but they will, they will get there. They can't even help it because your love heals them, and their eyes will be opened, and they will start to be able to see themselves more clearly and see that they do deserve more in life and that they do deserve better. And that is when they will leave the karmic partners that they're settling with, and they will come running to you because they can no longer bear to be away from you one more second. Okay? Focus on the beauty within the masculines. Have compassion for them. Have understanding for their situations and what they're going through. And focus on seeing the beauty within yourself as well, because divine feminines also struggle with self-worth issues. This could be external beauty or internal beauty, honestly, but, and take, let's take it back to self-love and self-care again as well. But I especially am feeling the connection to really digging deep into that self-love and no longer allowing, self-worth wounds to hold you back in life. And feminines, you might have your own third-party situations to walk away from that get caught up in those wounds, and it might be life purpose related too. Like, don't be afraid to pursue your dreams and your life purpose path, because more is meant for you. And at being a twin flame, you are here to do more in the world. So don't be afraid to take risks and go after your dreams and where you are guided as well. Okay, let's talk about this Grand Cross Provoker now. This is like what I was referring to, what Spirit put me through. This is like the vortex I was talking about. A lot of you are going through this now. I mean, you are being poked and provoked to the point of forcing you out whatever needs to come out that is still remaining inside you. Deep buried wounds, fears, whatever else is left. And honestly, part of the issue with me and what Spirit pulled out was the journey itself creates its own wounds, because you spend years on this journey and, false starts, misleading events, false leads, booby traps that Spirit will put us through as well, and karmic situations that create those things. The constant reassurance sometimes feels like that. But that is Spirit trying to help you get through the journey. And then you just have to understand that this is not a journey that can be rushed. But the journey itself, especially when you're dealing with spiritual warfare as well, it creates its own traumas and wounds. It creates PTSD even. So sometimes Spirit will also put us through things to help us heal and release the traumas that are created by the journey itself, which I say that because I really feel like that's a big part of what Spirit put me through last week too. And I know I'm not the only one. And I have to say, I actually do feel a shift, and I feel changed, and I feel like a fear has been released, because Spirit intentionally put me into a crisis of faith. And when confronted, admitted that it was in my soul contract and agreement for Spirit to do this to me as well. I'll get into the details another time, but so my soul chose to do that to myself as part of my learning process, and that was Spirit leading me through false leads to bring on a crisis of faith. It was not related to my twin, but still. And it was all about pulling out of me the necessary, pulling out the remaining, I should say, fears and doubts and worries that had been created by the journey itself. So That's one aspect that can happen here. But whatever this is for each of you, that was what it was for me. Whatever this is for each of you, understand that this is a catalyst for change and movement. You're going to be experiencing tension. Whatever these triggers are that are provoking you, they're going to create tension, and they're going to feel very intense, especially when you have the Grand Cross Provoker. Like, some of you could be going through the most intense purges that you have gone through in a while, if not ever, just like me last week. And that's because it's Spirit turning up the vice, turning up the pressure to force the crisis, that is also bringing about the growth. And on the other side of that, the renewal is bringing about it is helping you to build a greater foundation for happiness and success when you get to the other side of the Provoker. During this process, you need to tap into all of your talents and strengths, and work on better communication. That's something that Spirit specifically said. And I'm actually going to read the whole paragraph about relationships with this card. Relationships connected to this card, which is, of course, your twin flame relationship. They will have a faded quality. You will not want to let go of a person no matter how hard it gets. There will be sacrifice and compromise with this relationship, and it will be one where you may want to bump your head against the many walls that seem to fly up out of nowhere. You are being challenged, and if you do not weather it out and see what the future brings, you will likely always regret letting this relationship go. If that's not the definition of a twin flame journey, I don't know what is, okay? But so expect this right now during the eclipse gateway and during this specific time period, okay? I feel like things should even out and come restabilize by the 11/11 portal, but expect these challenges right now, okay? Do what you can to meditate and contemplate and go within to find your balance and to recalibrate yourself, recenter and ground yourself so that you can weather these roller coasters and, essentially just come out the other side and survive it. I thought it was amazing that one of the specific sentences in the Grand Cross card said, draw on your strength. And then the very first sentence for the Earth Element card said, draw on your strength. So Spirit's really hammering home that message here. Draw on your strength to get through these storms right now, okay? So this is how you want to visualize yourself. Be so strongly anchored and rooted that nothing can knock you down. And honestly, it made me think of when I was fighting a demon. It was the first demon I had to fight. I fought 11. I destroyed 11. Or I either removed or destroyed 11. When I say removed, I mean permanently removed so that they can no longer hurt anybody. But anyway, I stood in my living room and I stood up to it and I said, it's going to be me or it's going to be you, and it's not going to be me. And that's how you have to be here. You might not be standing up to spiritual warfare. You might just be getting through these challenges and these crises that you're being put through. But be so strongly anchored and rooted that nothing can knock you down, okay? Be strong, be determined, be self-assured, stand in your knowing of getting through everything and coming out the other side, coming into union, that everything will be okay, like we talked about at the beginning. But also don't be stubborn and let go of your fears, okay? Patience is needed right now because you are in the process of building a strong foundation that is going to lead to happiness, and it is going to last. If you rush it, it won't be ready, and then it might falter and it might fail. You can't force union before you guys are ready. Otherwise, it's not union yet, and it's not going to last. You could just end up in another separation. So the last thing to note in terms of getting through the Grand Provoker is you have to lean into your faith. This journey, one of the biggest tests and lessons of this journey is the faith wound and having blind faith. I mean, I have learned how to have blind faith over this journey, but there was still that needling fear like somewhere in there, that I believe that's what Spirit, or it's at least part of what Spirit was pulling out. I say it that way because until I explain properly, you won't understand. I'm not talking about fear in terms of my twin flame journey. I'm actually talking about a different fear. But anyway, point being is that even though I was in blind faith, there was still that little needling thing. That might not be the right word. Niggling? I don't remember. I don't know what the word is. But you know what I mean? So Spirit is going to push you and test your faith wound until you conquer it. I can promise you that because I went through it. But so find that blind faith. Do everything you can to conquer that and find that blind faith. Know and trust that this is your destiny and this is your fate. And you also start tapping into your psychic abilities too. This is not just about faith. This is also about expanding your gifts and trusting your own inner knowing, because your own inner knowing is your own psychic gifts. It's not just your imagination. It's not just you reaching and creating something out of nothing. It's for real. It's legit. It's your own connection to your higher self and your spirit guides. And those are your strongest allies, especially your higher self, because your higher self knows you better than anybody else. Know that you are on a journey and you will be changed through this process. You just have to ride it out and get through it, okay? So now lastly, with all of these cards, but these can sum up quickly. So know that the masculines, these came out together. The masculines are focusing on building up their material world, building up their abundance and their foundations so that they are ready to come together with you. Okay, that's their goal. That's what they want. They want to come to you with that strong, solid foundation in the material world, because that's what makes them feel good about themselves and makes them feel like they have something that they can bring to the table. That's how they measure their self-worth, because that's what's been ingrained in them. And, it takes them longer to let go of that conditioning. So they're focused on this, and that's a good thing. I love how we also have Jupiter abundance here, because extra emphasis on spirits, just also reassuring you that you guys are going to come into abundance as you get through this journey and this process as well, okay? Know that there's going to be powerful change. As I feel like, especially through this eclipse gateway, that it's those of you who are really close, this eclipse gateway itself is going to bring about a lot of powerful change, perhaps even unexpectedly. You might not see it coming and it might just appear. So I have to show you guys this. I just noticed it. I've been looking at it the whole time and it just occurred to me. I have the ring light here so you can see, and I can see the reflection in the TV. Do you see this? It looks like the solar eclipse. Plus it has all those weird reflections right now as well. That it makes me think of sacred geometry. And it looks different on the screen than it does on the TV. It's actually like brighter and there's more reflections on the screen that you're seeing. But I just thought that was so cool. I just realized, oh my God, there's a freaking solar eclipse in the TV while I'm recording this. I thought that was cool. Anyway, so like I was saying, expect powerful change. Look, 2 change cards. I love when Spirit gives us the double emphasis from more than one card. Change is coming. And even if it's not just yet for you, it's coming. Action, your divine masculines are going to take the necessary action. And actually, just look at this. Look at her. She's taking a leap of faith. And you need to also do that in whatever ways you are guided to. It could be pertaining to your twin. It could be pertaining to your life purpose path. Or it could be pertaining to just some other aspect of your life where Spirit is getting you to branch out and try new things. But action is going to be guided and taken. Understand that there are times for inaction and there are times for action. Both are valuable and important. The times of inaction are valuable growth, internal growth periods, and the times of action are when obviously we make things happen. So Spirit guides both exactly how they need to be. Don't worry, trust the process. The answers you need are coming, and the action is going to happen exactly when it is meant to, okay? You guys are so close. Many of us are so close. And even if you're not yet, you will get there. Trust me. Everybody is on the same path, on the same journey. It's just a matter of time for when you're going to get there. So some of you are starting to blossom now. Some of you are like the flowers are coming up above the surface and getting ready. Continue to work through whatever growth is needed to complete the process of blossoming. Know that you are going to birth the rewards of all your hard work and efforts, and you're going to create this new life with your twin, but it's also a new life for you because you're going through a spiritual rebirth process yourself anyway. Okay. So focus on that, focus on manifesting this, and focus on co-creating this with spirit. Work with spirit to hone your manifestation abilities and bring it into a reality starting on your end, knowing that it will happen with your twin as well. Find your inner peace and work on maintaining it and keeping yourself in that high vibration so that you can be ready, so that you don't falter anymore yourself either. Okay. I mean, if you do, don't hold it against yourself. You were supposed to release that, but the day will come when you won't do that anymore and you'll be ready. And know that abundance is coming. That time is going to come in divine timing, of course. And the doors are going to start flying open. You know, one of the things that Spirit said to me in the last year was, when he's ready, nothing can stop him. And I have to trust that. And I have to know that that is the best time and the best way. When it's time, the doors are going to fly open. Divine help will help you guys get there. And that's when the positive forward movement is it's going to be like a slingshot. You know, it might feel like you're being pulled back for a moment while you're in the void, and you have to continue to, put in the hard work, maintain the positive manifestations, the positive thinking. Don't neglect things in your own life along the way, but it's going to shoot off and everything is going to start moving forward exponentially, like suddenly out of nowhere. And just like that, your whole life is going to change. So trust it, believe in it, know that nothing can come between you and your twin flame. The twin flame soul connection is absolute, and absolutely nothing can break it. Like, you guys have no idea. So don't fear, don't be afraid, don't worry, don't doubt. Have your complete faith in that, and just be in the moment. Make yourself happy. Work on the things that you know you need to work on for yourself. Write out whatever these grand provokers are right now, and believe in the outcome. Trust in the outcome, and you will get there soon. Real quickly, I want to let you guys know that with each monthly portal since Lionsgate, I have been doing the collective healings have become guided meditations for everybody to listen to. So those who are signing up for the collective healings are receiving those guided meditations, but I also have them available in my shop to order if you want. So if you go to my Etsy shop and go to guided meditations, you will find those there. I have another one coming up at the end of the month for the Halloween portal, and it's focused on protection because Halloween is the most dangerous night of the year when the veil no longer exists. And especially someone who's gone through spiritual warfare, I take that seriously. So there's that. And I also have coming up an 11/11 portal workshop. I'm going to be getting those details up soon. Me and my friend Jennifer are going to be doing that. And the theme is hearing the call of your beloved. I can't wait for you guys to see what Spirit has in store. The link will be in my link tree soon. Check it out in the next week.